Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I am back in the building for another podcast. This is going to be what I'm thinking is episode 36. I don't have any type of intro or anything like that. This is the first time you're seeing my face in a long time. I decided to go ahead and do a podcast. It is currently almost 3 o'clock in the morning, and I just thought, hey, let me go ahead and get into a couple of things. Um, so first, I want to start off with the let's see, start off with the power, the power, what is it? Power Book 2 Ghosts finale season 4 episode 10, titled Ghost in a Shell. I just want to go through every single thing that was going on, that happened within the show, what I liked, what I hated. Um, First of all, I do just want to say, if this is your first time either listening to this podcast or watching it, salute to you. Please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be bringing up more content in the coming days, but I really just want to go ahead and get started. First, I want to get into, like I said, getting into the episode itself. So I'm not going to go into everything, but I just want to say that, like, I power, not to talk of the original, but these spin-offs don't do nothing but keep within the same family of BS. I just want to keep it real. Stays in the family of BS. So just to keep it real, this is coming off the heels of basically episode 9, in which, we get into the wedding with Kane and Noma, which turns into Noma ending up shooting and killing or unaliving Monet Tejada. And now, this is just coming off like I said, coming off the heels of that. It opens up with Kane and Diana and Drew, basically just the aftermath of what was going on with uh, their mom, and they just basically wheeled her out. The officer who's part of Carter's team is asking him questions like, "Do you know who did this?" Blase, 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 so on and so forth, and they just go into a plan of trying to find a way to basically off Noma. Oops, excuse me. Why that happened, but yeah, they just basically go into a plan of wanting to off Noma, and yeah, uh, going into what else is there? What else is there? Let's see. What else is there on it? As far as I know, um, they still have Carter tied up, from what I can like remember from watching it not too long ago. They had him tied up, and they were like basically trying to figure out how they could like find something to make it, find something to hang over Officer Carter's head, which I don't honestly, I don't really care. I didn't really care for his character too much because it's like, yeah, I know they wanted to add like a police officer again, finding a way to add another, element to it besides having, the Russians, Davis McLean, Noma. Like there's already enough, you know, cooks in the kitchen, and then adding Carter, I don't know what that would have entailed, but I mean, just in general, I didn't really care for his character too much, as far as I could tell you. Not really a big fan of uh that character, but they were just trying to find something, and Carter's just saying all this stuff about, oh yeah, if you don't let me go, the police are good, police are gonna be looking for me and all this other stuff, man. Honestly, I don't understand why Tariq didn't just waste Carter at the church. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like just holding on to it, just coddling and holding on to a character for this amount of magnitude. I mean, Ghost would have pulled the trigger already. He wouldn't even made it to this many episodes. Like they really wanted to build a foundation with Carter, which didn't make any sense. He's a dirty cop. Eventually, he's gonna get, if you keep running for president, you're gonna get elected. If you're a dirty cop, I mean, why didn't they like open the door of possibility of somebody outside of association with any of them being on the prowl to catch Carter, to be able to off Carter so that it could look like, okay, somebody you put in jail, somebody you put in jail is powerful enough to come after you from within the system that you don't even know. But they didn't think to do that. They just went for a typical thing, for a typical type of building around the character of a dirty cop, like a dirty cop can't get got. It just doesn't make any sense. He ends up going to jail. He ends up getting one of his fellow officers flips on him, and he ends up going to jail. Which he can get out of jail. He's probably not going to be in jail that long. Probably going to give him like 2 years, 3 years in jail. Most police don't go to jail for that long. So that wasn't, I guess in that form, I would say it was realistic. But him going to jail, I would have rather seen him gone out of here. But I guess that's good for his character. Not something I would have done, but all right. So Diana ends up. So what they do is they end up setting up. Tariq ends up setting up uh Anya to be shot at some secret house or whatever, where they go whenever something happens. Whenever Anya goes, and whenever something happens and Noma needs Anya to be somewhere safe, that's where they keep her. So yeah, Tariq takes her to this house where she goes if something happens, and let her out the car. Lo and behold, Diana and Tariq were following. Not Diana and Tariq. Diana and Kane were following Tariq for however long they were following them for, and then Diana gets out the car. Uh, Kane got out the car, and she starts busting shots. Noma was talking to Anya with her back turned, or her back was turned. Yes, back was turned, and boom, boom, boom. That's it. Anya's gone. For what reason? I don't know why, but she's gone. She's out of there. So we come to the scene where they lure Noma to I believe like where her private jet is because they were going they make it seem like the Tejadas are going to get on a flight and leave. His Noma's brother doesn't want to be involved. Neither did he want to even take any of their bodyguards with Noma. So Noma was like, "All right, y'all are cowards," so on and so forth. So she goes up to where her private jet is and brings a very heavy police presence um, out of the character of somebody who's supposed to be a drug dealer to bring all these police, even though she's like supposed to be like this mogul or whatever it is. Um, Kind of weird to me that you would bring the police, but hey, what do I know? This is their writing. Uh, Brings the police. Uh, Tariq was not Tariq. Sorry, Kane tells Diana and Drew, "Hey, trust me, I got this. Y'all just go ahead and go out there and surrender yourselves." So that's what they did. Surrender themselves, and Kane just came from out of nowhere after the police went and got Drew and Diana as a uh, diversion, basically. And it doesn't make any sense how he got to her, how he got to Noma that quickly. Like it was like 5 seconds while they were bringing Drew and Diana. 5 seconds. How the hell did he get to her that quickly without the police busting any type of shots? It's beyond me. I don't know. It's magic. This is some magical ass writing. So he got close enough within arm's reach. Boom, bow, bing. One shot to the head between the eyes. Noma, Noma drops down to the floor. That's the end of Noma. What else? What else? And then basically, like I said, any that the police end up going into a shootout with uh with Kane. Kane gets shot up. Kane gets shot in the arm and I believe in the gut or something like that. He somehow gets away, gets to a hotel. They cut to the scene of him at the hotel with what's her damn name? They cut to the scene with him at the hotel with Effie, and his he has damages and he's wounded up and everything. So they could have done a better job with this. How the hell does Effie take all the money she saved up that she was gonna go to, like, I believe it's California, and decide to just give it all to Kane? What is that? Give it all to Kane, bro? Why? You give it all to Kane, and now you're just back in the drug game, taking orders from Tariq. It shows that there's no evolution in their writing. They don't want any of these characters to evolve. They don't want any of these characters to evolve. They don't want their characters to evolve. They don't want Brayden to be able to find a way out of the drug game. Even though he comes from a wealthy family and everything like that, they don't want him to evolve. They don't want Effie to evolve. I would have at least thought, like, damn, at least Effie could get the hell out of this chaotic, toxic environment that is the drug game. But no, Courtney Kemp, 50 Cent want to keep on with this same BS. I can't enjoy Power anymore because it's the same thing on every single spinoff show. I can't enjoy it. I can't at all. I love Raising Kanan, but there is no way out for any of the characters on that show. There's no good, like, I mean, I understand the messaging in which being like, okay, hey, if you're in the drug game, the only way you can get out is if you are unalive or you go to jail. But it's too much left out as far as like storytelling goes. In each one of these shows, besides the original Power did its best to build a uh, character arc for uh, each each one of the characters that came on the show that were household names and mainstays. With all these other shows, as far as Force, as far as Raising Kanan, as far as Power Ghost, as far as is there anything else? I don't even want to put BMF there because BMF is actually like almost like a biopic. So I'm not gonna add BMF to that. It's different. That's different. That's not gonna be put in this. But as far as the shows I just named, there is no they're all from the same tree, but their roots don't have any like their roots aren't stemming any other roots. You there's no future. There's no future. There's no real future for anybody on Power Ghost. There's no real future. Like the writers and the writers and the creators have made that abundantly clear. And to be honest with you, like I said, I am glad that this show is done. It's over with. But I know Tariq is coming back. Tariq's coming back. Maybe he'll show up back on Force. Kane Tejada, I'm sure, is coming back through Force, through another spinoff show. I'm sure. I think that Tate show is actually gonna actually come. Pause. It's actually gonna be put together and brought out for the audiences to see. I think that show, when and if it comes out, it's probably going to be the most powerful show out of all of them as far as spinoffs go. Because seeing Tate is all over the Power universe, and it would just be interesting to see a dirty cop slash how he's in politics doing dirty politics and just that whole entire dynamic. Um, and then also to just to see Tate's beginnings, and then also to like let's get a reimagining of what Tate and his brother, what was it, Kamard, what they were like when they were children. That would be an amazing buildup. I think that show has the potential to have its own legs. It's just they need to stop doing the typical two step. Like that show has to be their breaking through the ceiling type of show, because like you're dealing with like law enforcement and politics together. I think like the dynamic would be crazy. I'll just need to find somebody who can speak to that dynamic, or get a writer to hang around somebody who is in politics, get a writer to hang around somebody who is in law enforcement. That would be dope. Just to get all these writers to go and be around that, just to get it in their head how a political uh, structure operates, how a law enforcement structure operates, and put it together for a good character trope of writing. That's how I feel. I feel like that show has potential, and I just would rather them not spoil it by just giving the typical that is already in Raising Canyon, the typical that is already in Force, the typical that was already in Ghost. You know, that might have worked with that might have worked very well with the original Power. But you can't do that for all these. You can't just keep doing that for all these spinoffs. And then you have Power Origins, in which they're going to be focusing on young Tommy and young Ghost. That should be interesting if they just don't do the same thing that they did with the other spinoff. Just change it up, please. Change it up. You know, how can one enjoy a new spinoff if you're gonna keep doing the same thing in the new spinoff? That's all I'm saying. But that's how I feel about it. I think the my favorite character in that whole entire series, um, the whole entire series has to be. Mm, honestly, Davis McLean. I feel like Davis McLean could get a. If they wanted to, they could give him a spinoff. I think he was my favorite character throughout that show. Favorite character, bro. Because it's just like with Tate, you're getting the exact same thing. You're getting a person who is a lawyer, but also has a dark side to him. And I feel like that's another key in their unit in the Power universe that hasn't really been like separated and like focused on for an audience to understand, like, hey, what a lawyer has to go through whenever he's like dealing with whenever a lawyer is dealing with cases, and you know, trying to relate themselves to these cases, especially if it's a lawyer who has a shady past, you know. So I feel like that's another person who could, you know, get a spinoff. Hopefully he gets. Hopefully they entertain a spinoff. That's just me. I feel like that would be perfect. But shoot, let's move on. Move on to the next thing. Let's see. What do I even have up here? Ooh, you know what? I know what I could talk about. I know what I could talk about. So, let me see. Let me see here. Let's see. Back. Okay, so I do want to get into talking about Tommy Richmond, and I'm just gonna play this clip real quick so it can be brought together. Let me see.
I'm not even trying to be funny. I'm not even trying to be funny. Whoever considered Tommy Richmond hip hop? Like whoever said that to him, because I'm not sure. I'm not sure if this was unprovoked. I know this is deleted now. It was a tweet and delete. But coming out and saying you're not a hip hop artist, I never considered Tommy hip hop. I don't know. Maybe he wants to set the tone now, so later on, if he gets to do like deep dive into other genres that are less black, or I don't know if maybe people interpret this because he caught a lot of heat for this. People interpret this as saying him saying ahead of time, "I'm not black," because he then had to clarify and say, "Hey, I meant to say I'm not solely a hip hop artist. I don't even consider him hip hop. There are like he has elements, but this is not like some Post Malone situation." And then I think DJ Head said something. DJ Head, yo, he's funny. Glad I got the PSA before I did my radio mix. Now I have two open slots. That's him saying he's gonna take out two Tommy Richmond songs. And Tommy Richmond says, "I'll say it again. I'm thankful for everything. I'm saying I don't want to be boxed in. I grew up on hip hop, but I'm a singer." And he is. It's like there's rhyming, but hip hop ain't the only thing that got rhyming. I think the problem is for anybody that consider Tommy Richmond hip hop. His proximity is to
You know, before I continue the clip, well, let continue.
what's my man's name? Brent Fayez. I don't consider Brent Fayez hip hop. I put him in that lane. Alt R&B, right? And that's probably where the root of this issue is. You start conflating R&B and hip hop. I'm just saying. I could be wrong.
Honestly, maybe I'm in the majority in saying this. I'm probably in the not majority, but the minority in saying this. I feel like we only do this to white artists who come into our space. We don't do this to like he just said, I don't he said he doesn't consider Brent Fayez as a rapper or anything like that. Yeah, but any any uh any black artist who doesn't consider themselves like a rapper or an R&B artist, they just basically don't want to be labeled. They don't want to be labeled, and we don't have, and most fans don't have an issue with an artist who is black saying that they're not a rapper, saying that they're not an R&B artist. You know, they don't want to be labeled. They don't want to be boxed in. But when it comes to our white counterparts, we jump on them like a pile of wild animals. But I understand why we do it. I understand why a lot of fans do that. It's because of the whole, like, you know, imposter thing about white artists coming in and doing rap music for a certain time period, and then all of a sudden turning around and saying, "Oh, hey, like I do rock music and I do folk music and all of that," like with Post Malone saying that, "Hey, I'm not a hip hop artist. I do other music." Um, I just don't like it's just like somebody I don't see even saying anything at all about trying to denounce hip hop. Jack Harlow, he didn't change his mind about doing rap music. Russ, he's white. He didn't change his mind about doing rap music, but he does other music. But he just never, I think the problem lies in like announcing that you're not a hip hop artist, bro. Shut up and make the music you want to make. Just shut up and make the music you want to make. They're gonna either love it or they're gonna hate it. Look at Lil Nas X. Lil Nas X is not. I don't consider him to be a full on hip hop artist. He makes other music. He makes other music. I don't think I ever heard him actually say like or denounce hip hop or anything like that. He just makes all types of music. Um, Russ makes all types of music. Um, MGK is another one who, after being in rap for however long he's been in rap, he decided he wanted to go do rock music. MGK's influence with rock music was already in his hip hop uh his hip hop statistics. He had came out of the gate when he was being recognized and people were having eyeballs looking at him. He was saying like, "No, I'm a rock and roll dude, but somebody put me on to hip hop and now I like hip hop." Am I going to fault him for wanting to get out of rap music because maybe it's not selling enough for him? No, I'm not. That's just how I feel. I mean, is it wrong that some of these artists, and I'm not even going to just specifically pigeonhole white artists, but it's black artists too that don't like get into rap music and then turn around and just start making other music. Whatever happened to there was a guy, Rory. He's a hip hop artist but makes other music. Nobody ever jumped on him because I guess because he was a one hit wonder or whatever. Um, some of these cats who come into hip hop music are just industry plants, but nobody ever wants to say that. So who knows? But I mean, on my scale, I feel like I don't think anybody ever considered Tommy Richmond to be hip hop music. I never looked at him as hip hop music. He's literally, isn't he signed to what's dude's name? Oh man, his name is like leaving my brain right now. What is his name? Not is it Brent Fayez? Yeah, he signed to Brent Fayez. Brent Fayez is an R&B artist. He's not no hip hop artist. So, what like I swear, people find a way to just people just find a way to love someone, and then they do something like the person that they like just does something they don't like, and now all of a sudden he's a terrible human being. Like, bro, stop it. Calm down. Like Tommy Richmond doesn't make hip hop music. I don't even think Tommy Richmond makes uh R&B music. I think he just makes all type of music. Makes all type of music, and he just doesn't want to be boxed in with a label. It's the same thing with yeah. You remember B.O.B.? Somebody would find it hard to believe that B.O.B. is not a hip hop artist. B.O.B. literally makes all types of music, but you know him from hip hop because he introduced himself as a hip hop artist. Correct or no? Yes, he introduced himself as a hip hop artist. So I just feel like people are just finding something to talk about and be mad about. Um, but to segue from that, now I don't know how you say his name. Is his name Kebby Lang? Kebby Lang is at the top of the most hated list for some reason. Um, I guess now I don't understand the fascination with people where they like an artist, or yeah, they like an artist. They like an influencer, right? They like them. Like let's just use Keith Lee as an example, right? Keith Lee is somebody who is a food critic or somebody who just likes good food. Somewhere along the line, while people liked him for his reviews and his wholesome content, they somehow somewhere in between all of that just decided to start picking out what they didn't like about him. He has an ego, this and that. Maybe it's a restaurant that a person likes that he gave a bad review, and now all of a sudden when you look up, you go to a Keith Lee comment section, or you go on TikTok, all you see is people saying they hate Keith Lee. What happened to liking him for his wholesome content? I mean, this is the same guy who was blessing, um, helping people who are mom and pop restaurants who know nothing about social media gain uh gain notoriety, gain customers through social media by going and trying the food. But now all of a sudden he's a bad person for what? You don't like him for what reason? Like, what's the real reason why you don't like him? Are you just tired of seeing Keith Lee? Being tired of somebody doing positive stuff is weird. It's weird. I don't understand that, but hey, if it makes you feel better that you're pushing somebody down who is being positive, trying his best to help businesses, restaurants, people who have put all their money into all their life savings. It is a dream for some of these people to own a restaurant. And owning a restaurant is hard as it is, you know? Employees, going and starting an LLC, EIN, um, getting the logo, making sure you get the right restaurant names. So it's a whole bunch of stuff that goes into running a restaurant, running a food truck, running a whatever that has to do with food. And the fact that there is, I get it on their side of people who don't like Keith Lee, whether it's a restaurant owner that doesn't like Keith Lee or whatever, him doing his review really does affect whether somebody's restaurant is either gaining traffic or losing traffic because of what he says in his reviews. I get that on their side, but at the same time, it is what it is, man. Like, at the end of the day, you make your own decision. You shouldn't live and breathe off of what Keith Lee says. I think the brother does a fantastic job of helping. I think that's the thing. We like I said, lose out on the fact that the man is helping businesses thrive, whether it's a good review or a bad review. Even if it is a bad review, those restaurants could go and fix whatever it is that he thought was wrong, and people will go there. And I think people still end up going to some of these restaurants that he reviews, even if it is bad. So, but the reason why we just play the clip of why I was talking about Keith Lee just now. This is for a different celebrity, though, or influencer, whatever you want to call it.
I'm scrolling down YouTube and I see a video titled "Why Everybody Hates Hobby Lobby." And bro, do y'all remember Hobby, right? The dude that be doing this, the most followed guy on TikTok.
Basically, the guy on TikTok who he doesn't say anything or anything like that.
Anyway, I'm like, what did bro do? So I go over to his TikTok. It seems out of sorts until I click his comments, and well, Hobby has a problem. So the more recent his videos, the more comments you see hating on the video. Now, this part's important. The comments themselves are more or less always the same. Stuff like, "This is getting old. Put the fries in the bag, bro. I didn't know what that meant until someone said that under my video." And then someone defended me. And then the person came back saying, "Yeah, he's pretty funny. I'm just talking." And most importantly, how is he famous? And here's where things start to get wicked. Now, for those of you that don't know, Charlie D'Amelio,
people say, "How is he famous?"
TikTok for the longest time. People didn't like her, so they said, let's make someone else famous. Let's call the number 2 person. And that number 2 person was Hobby Lam. But I need you to listen to what I just said. He was the number 2 most followed person on TikTok.
Okay.
That takes a lot of work. He was posting 6 to 7 videos a day.
He don't even talk.
Relatable. Everyone from all around the world could watch his videos and they can understand. And they were so simple that any age group can watch them and understand. You can have kids watching them, and you know, parents be loving that simple humor. They'd be like, that's real comedy. But again, he wasn't number 1. Charlie was. So a trend happened saying, yo, let's make Hobby number 1. And they make Hobby number 1. And this made many people feel like he didn't deserve his number 1 spot. But with all those things I just mentioned about his content, he was probably going to get to number 1 anyway. And then people started hearing about how much he was making per post. About $1 million. People said, Hobby, he said. They said, you making too much money, he said. Then he starts doing movies. He becomes a judge on Italy's Got Talent. He's Italian, by the way. Senegalese Italian. Shout out Senegal. People start going, yo, nah, bro. What's your talent then? Hobby go. Is he talking Hobby go. He starts doing his thing, and well, people lose it. So it gets so bad.
So people mad because he famous? People mad because they the ones who make like people. The crowd really will turn on somebody just for nothing, just because they bored. Like just because he's successful. What does he owe y'all? What does he owe y'all for being for getting successful? Granted, people followed him and liked him and everything like that, but I mean, it is what it is. You mad because he making money? He gaining notoriety? That don't make no sense, man. Who gets bored and start to people who get bored and start to hate on somebody? Scum of the year. Scum of the year. I think I seen a video. I'm gonna get into this too. I seen a video of DDG, the rapper DDG, saying something about a 9 to 5. I'm gonna get to that too. That I feel like that correlates with this as well. So let's get back to this.
Hobby has to talk. During an interview, they asked him, what do you say to all the haters? Hobby goes, honestly, I don't care about no hater. I'm trying to do movies for real. Like, I don't care about that little TikTok.
Okay.
He didn't care about TikTok. I just got carried away. But anyway, he starts doing movies and he really stops posting on TikTok as much. But when he does post, you start seeing hating. And that hate is really starting to build steam. Because at this point, it's kind of like a trend. Like I told you, the comments you see on his videos are similar. People see that the hate is getting popular, so they keep commenting what they saw on the last video more and more and more.
Dave Chappelle was right. We're like, bro, humans nowadays are just terrible. Like, they will build you up. They will build somebody up and make them famous, and then just turn around and say, you know what? I don't like that you're famous. You suck. You're trash. Time to bag it up. Time to pack it up. Put the fries in the bag. You're cooked. Like they did it with Mr. Beast. They're doing it with Keith Lee. Now they're doing it with, I don't know if I'm gonna say his name. Hobby Lane. Is that his name? Hobby Lane? They're doing it with him now. It's boredom. That's all it is. The hate is boredom. It's better to hate somebody you propped up and was cheering for. That's our society for you. And it's embarrassing. It's completely embarrassing. I want to get into the DDG clip. He said something about a 9 to 5. Let's see what he said.
A 9 to 5 should only be used to fund your own business. Like, I don't think nobody should ever get a job and say, I'm going to be the 10-year best employee of the year. Like, nobody should ever think that, because
when people say stuff like this, the number one thing that pops up in my mind, if everybody is a business owner, who is working at the establishment? Who are the employees? I know it's hard for some people to believe, but there are actual people out here who are okay working a little 9 to 5, getting their check and going to the crib. They don't want all the extra responsibility. They just want to get their bread and go on about their day. And then people talk about a 9 to 5 like it's just disgusting. There are people out here that work a 9 to 5 that make more than some businesses.
I mean, I feel like DDG's aim was. I feel like DDG's aim was in good intention. The way he was speaking about the 9 to 5, I feel like it was motivation. Not everybody needs to be. Not everybody who works a 9 to 5. That's not their final destination. Sure, there are some people who will always work a 9 to 5 forever. They will be a worker. They will never move up. Some who are workers, who are 9 to 5 workers, will move up. Will become supervisors and managers, and hopefully owners of wherever the establishment is that they work at some point. But that destination is not for everybody. I feel like that's what DDG was trying to say. Some people have more ambition. Some people are just doing a 9 to 5 to front a rap career, or they have a 9 to 5 to fund school, or fund being a director, or they're trying to become a paint artist or something like that. A person who's working a 9 to 5 is not necessarily just working a 9 to 5 just to be working a 9 to 5, is what I feel like DDG was trying to say. But obviously, every single time DDG says something, his words are gonna get misconstrued, because that's the way the internet is. People just take the message and run with it and flip it and put their own narrative to it, even though the intention of the message was to be an all good intention, which is what I believe he was trying to get to. And then another thing is, that's only half of the clip. I don't even know, like, let me see if I can find the full clip. I'm sure he's saying way more than whatever he just said in that clip. See if I can find it real quick. And now, since that clip, right? Now all these same people who were butthurt by what he was saying, right, are now getting on his head top, because now DDG is now broken up with Halle Bailey, and now people are like, oh yeah, look at you were sitting up there talking about 9 to 5s, 9 to 5s. Oh, people are fun using 9 to 5s to front their business. Aha, look at you. Aha, you're not with her anymore. Like, just being childish, bro. He made a statement. The statement isn't. It's not a bad. I mean, the statement wasn't a negative statement. I think people's visions are skewed as far as something he's saying with I think people's visions are skewed as far as celebrities talking about 9 to 5s, because DDG used to work a 9 to 5 at some point. Oh yeah, this is him responding. Let me see this real quick. It's him responding.
What the fuck are you even talking about? If you never worked a regular,
I don't know why y'all keep acting slow. Y'all know what the hell I meant. If you don't want to be a boss, then don't be a boss. Work your job. I don't give a fuck. Okay? I don't care, bro. I don't even know you niggas. I don't give a fuck if you a boss, employee, none of that. It's motivational. If you want to get up every day and go to your job, good jolly do it. Nigga, I don't give a fuck. Y'all think I give a fuck? And I used to work at TJ Maxx and Kroger.
So he knows.
Just because, nigga, I'm fucking lit, rich, and handsome, now doesn't mean that I didn't work a regular job. Why y'all hating? And you're lying too. You're lying.
Wow.
Stop playing with me.
You
Y'all
know
starting to
somebody
piss me
who's
off. Y'all
fond of
niggas
that.
act slow. Every time I say something, y'all act like y'all don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Stop acting stupid. You know what the fuck I meant. Y'all pissing me the fuck off.
And now that's going right back. Like I said, this is going right. Like you know what? Like I said, let me find that clip. Let me see if there's any more to the clip than what I already heard about the clip. Let me just see real quick.
A 9 to 5 should only be used. A 9 to 5 should only be used to fund your own business. Like I don't think nobody should ever get a job and say I'm gonna be the 10-year best employee of the year. Like nobody should ever think that, because if you ever late too many times, they're gonna get rid of you.
Yeah, they can fire you.
What you got going on in your
that.
family? They don't care about nothing. If I'm the business and you always late and you doing this, I'm firing you.
And I agree, if you're on somebody else's time, you have to adhere to their rules, but understand not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur. And with the economy the way that it is, it's not realistic that everybody's gonna have extra money.
So it's like the yin is there are people who have 9 to 5s and are using that to fund it being a business. The yang is there are also people who do not have a business at all, aren't doing anything, and have a 9 to 5 because they want a 9 to 5 and they're cool just having a 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with it either way to me. I don't think there's anything wrong with it either way. If you want a 9 to 5, cool. And if you want a 9 to 5 and not doing anything else with your life, all right, cool. If you have a 9 to 5 and it's not your final destination and you're using it to build a business, that's great too. That's even better than just it being you having a 9 to 5. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just I feel like people are attacking him just because it's not the message, it's the messenger. DDG is a millionaire. He's a rapper. He's a YouTuber making all this money. Why is a YouTuber? Why is a rapper? Why is a millionaire telling people about 9 to 5 to fund something? Like, come on, man. The man is just giving out advice. If who's an entertainer that everybody likes? If Boss Man D-Lo turned around and said this same stuff, y'all wouldn't even oblige. Y'all would say nothing. Y'all would be like, yeah, he real for that. You know? If Lil Baby turned around and said this same thing, everybody would be all up on his D for saying it. And, you know, it would be looked at as a motivational message versus DDG saying it. And since it's him saying it, oh, now it's bad. Why is DDG talking about 9 to 5? What does he know about 9 to 5s? He ain't never had a 9 to 5. He is a millionaire. Like, stop it. Relax. Just relax. It's not that deep. Not that deep. I don't think it's that deep. The man made a motivational message. Whoever receives it, receives it. Whoever wants to be negative, of course they're going to be negative, you know. But that's the way of the world. That's the way it is when you're a influencer, celebrity, whatever you want to call it. And then I believe, like, finally, there's like one thing I want to get into before I close this thing out. And that is, this.
It is time now for another look at your morning headlines. Right now, there is a blue alert that has been issued for a wanted man in Memphis, Texas, which is near the Panhandle. Police in North Texas
I didn't even know that was a place.
are looking for this man, 33-year-old Seth Altman, for the involvement in the injury of an officer by the Hall County Sheriff's Office. Altman was last seen wearing a blue T-shirt and blue jeans. He is considered armed and dangerous. New this morning, it is time now for another.
I seen this earlier, well, yesterday, and I was like, Why do I keep seeing this on my FYP on TikTok? So let me see if I can like find more information on this guy. It says it's a statewide manhunt here in Texas for a Seth Altman, 33 years old, who blanked a Memphis, Texas police chief named Rex Plant. So if I go and go find more information on it just real quick, some light. Let me see here. Okay. This is what got everybody in Texas scared for their life and up in arms. So, okay. 33-year-old has gained statewide attention after a blue alert was sent out. I didn't even know there was a such thing as a blue alert. Altman is wanted for, of course, popping a police chief. He has a, says late Thursday night while officers were delivering a warrant to Altman for a burglary charge. An arrest warrant was attempted. An arrest warrant for an attempted capital of a peace officer has been issued for Altman. He also has prior charges, including assault cases, bodily injury, family member, assault causes bodily injury, burglary of vehicles, evading arrest, and criminal trespass. Goodness Lord. They want this man. And he's alive too. That's crazy. He's alive and managed to escape police. Versus if the shoe was on the other foot and it was a man, they'd be the news would be propping up the news would be telling you that that Buddy got either arrested or Buddy got blanked. Crazy. Altman is a 6'2" white male weighing around 220 pounds. He has brown or auburn hair and blue eyes. He is also known to wear glasses. Altman also has ties to or may visit Childress. Is that a place like Childress, Texas? He is considered armed and dangerous. If you see Altman, do not approach him and call him on. This is out in San Antonio. This is all the way out in San Antonio. He's the most Memphis man he's on the top 10 most wanted list in Texas. Top 10 most wanted list in Texas. Just to even take it a little further, I want to know what a blue alert is, because I've never heard of that before. Shoot, a blue alert. Does it even tell you? What is a blue alert? A blue alert is issued for people who are suspected of or seriously wounding local, state, or federal law enforcement officers, according to the Texas Department of Safety. The Blue Alert program was created in 2008 and is designed to ensure that suspects can be quickly apprehended. Oh, okay. So that's basically like just to let other counties know, other officers know that, hey, it's a serious matter and there needs to be a manhunt for somebody who pops an officer. Makes sense. It says the following criteria must be met before a blue alert can be issued under a person's name. According to the department, a law enforcement officer must have been off or seriously injured by an offender. Authorities must believe the suspect poses a serious risk or threat to the public and law enforcement personnel. A description of the suspect's vehicle tag or partial tag must be available so it can be broadcast to the public. The investigating law enforcement agency must recommend activating the blue alert to the Texas Department of Public Safety. So he's all the way in San Antonio. He's around San Antonio, I believe, because I guess that's where Memphis, Texas is. So he could leave San Antonio, go to Austin. He could be in Houston. He could be in Dallas. He could be in El Paso. He could be anywhere in Texas right now. There's nobody has a clue. But that's crazy. Crazy that they actually like are seriously hunting this man, and he's the most dangerous man in Texas right now. It's crazy. But yeah, man, that's all I got. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. This is episode 136. I don't know what the title of this episode will be, but it's gonna be up on YouTube. It's gonna be up on clips are gonna be up on TikTok. I'm trying to see if I could post more on Instagram. I haven't really been posting on there. I'm just worried about YouTube and TikTok right now. So that's all I got for you. Y'all take it easy, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.